Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Well, this is kind of a little bit of a recap, but I figured I could do this video with very little, with a little bit quicker, and if I maybe get one more out for you guys. However, it seems that the continuation here is that Infowars host Owen Shroyer sentenced to 60 days in January 6th case. Now, this was a person that was saying it was, doing political talk, whatever, and he's being blamed for his actual political speech. He does plan on, I may believe, appealing the case, and luckily he is not being technically forced to go to jail and lock him up, but he's going to be on watch. So 60, he's not necessarily going to jail. So this is what the case is. This is what he's been saying here about the situation where he's not really going to be going to jail. Per se, he's going to be watched, and he's going to appeal the case. Take a look.
Do you know what's the deal? When are they gonna? When do they lock you up?
So there's still some nuts and bolts to this. There's still some loose ends to this. If people want to get a lot of the information, myself and my lawyer had a press conference outside of the courthouse today after the proceedings were finished. You can go find that exclusively at band.video. And myself and my lawyer, I mean, we go into it. We go into the weeds. We go into the nuts and bolts. And so really all the information can be found there.
Is like a link or is it?
Yeah, if you go to band.video, I'm sure I've been running around all day. I haven't gone to check myself, but I'm sure they have it in the front fold or in the scrolling marquee. So I know it should be easy to find, or at infowars.com. But as far as what's next, we do plan to appeal. There's still some questions as far as, we're assuming that we're going to be able to appeal. It'd be like almost as shocking as the incarceration, almost as shocking as the sentence if they didn't let me appeal. But I mean, at this point, who knows?
Right.
They may deny the appeal. And I will also tell you that we believe that this is an important enough case to make it to the Supreme Court. And maybe that's where we prefer this case ends up, is at the Supreme Court, because we believe it is that big of a free speech issue. For the time being, and my lawyer let the court today know that we plan to appeal. And so at least for the time being, even though I think the government was kind of biting their cheek, they are going to allow me to not be incarcerated and remain under my strict probation during the appeals process, the same probation I've been under.
So yeah, there you have it. It is pretty much known that he is going to be appealing the actual case, and he's not going to be incarcerated, but they're going to keep his watch on. So pretty much probation, etc., etc. So he's not going to be incarcerated. That's at least somewhat better than what they did, but still, it's still egregious that this is even happening to him in the first place. We have this here. A host of the far-right media outlet Infowars was sentenced Tuesday on 260 days in prison for his role in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Owen Shroyer is one of the only handful of January 6 participants charged with a crime, despite having neither entered the Capitol building nor been accused of committing violence or destruction on a Capitol grounds. Prosecutors charged Shroyer because he had previously signed a deferred prosecution agreement after he interrupted a congressional hearing in 2019 and had agreed as part of that case not to utter loud, threatening, or abusive language, or to engage in any disorderly or disruptive conduct at any place upon the United States Capitol grounds. About 1,100 defendants have been charged in connection with the Capitol attack in 2001 and 2021, and more than 600 have been sentenced. More than 370 of them to periods of incarceration. Democrats are posing as communists, but we know what they really are. They're just tyrants. They're tyrants. Shroyer said on a bullhorn as he led a crowd to Capitol on January 6th. And so today, on January 6th, we declared death to tyranny, death to tyrants. The government sought 120 days of incarceration, saying that while Shroyer did not step foot inside the Capitol, many of those who listened to him did. Shroyer's defense team said that the case had been characterized by a cooperative spirit between the defense and the government, and asked that he be spared prison time. When he was at the Capitol on January 6th, Shroyer wore two hats. One was that of outraged citizen who believed that the election had been rigged. The other as full-time journalist and commentator who sought a front row seat at a historic event, his defense team wrote. At Tuesday's sentencing hearing, Shroyer told the court, "I was not a part of any larger plan for illegal activity or violence that day." Shroyer was sentenced by U.S. District by U.S. Judge Timothy Kelly, who last week sent Proud Boys founder Eric Taro to federal prison for the longest term yet for a January 6th defendant in 22 years. So yeah, exactly. These people are actually after him. They were not allowed to go against the narrative, go against the government, because of course that's bad. You know, going against the government and saying that certain people are terrorists or tyrants is an issue. You can't say that toward the opposition, to the establishment. So of course they will arrest you and they put you behind bars. And it just seems to happen that Owen Shroyer is just the target that they're seeming to going after, along with Alex Jones and a lot of other people that they deem a threat to their actual rule of power. So, you know, be as it may. So careful, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to question the government or say that the government is doing something or they're doing something horribly illegal, don't do that, because, you know, obviously it's a huge problem and, you know, it causes issues for everyone else involved. The establishment, mind you. The Republicans and the Democrats don't like you, so they're going to put you behind bars. So, yeah, that's what's happening with Mr. Shroyer here. I feel bad for him. He shouldn't have to be suffering this. You shouldn't be being punished for your First Amendment rights, let alone the Second Amendment. And as we've seen back to back here, guys, ladies and gentlemen, that they have been going after this First Amendment like ants to a fucking carcass, and they have been going after the Second Amendment as well, and they're getting backlash for at least Second Amendment and all these other issues. So don't think that they're not going to stop here. They're going to keep on pressing and pressing. And of course, as Americans, we need to push back. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like I share. As always, take care.